Hello and welcome to News Central Television. This is News Now with me, Joe Hansen, on a Monday morning. Let's take a look at the top stories for this hour. Casualty toll rises from erroneous Nigerian military airstrike on Christmas Day in Sokoto State. Troops arrest terror Kingpin, Bello Turji's female ammunition supplier in Zamfara. And civilians killed in airstrikes by Sudanese Army also as a story would be taken a look at. Well, let's stay here and ensure that we get the stories as well as they come your way. I'm Joe Hansen. Details in a moment. Welcome back. No fewer than 19 casualties have been confirmed following airstrikes by the Nigerian Air Force on two communities in Sokoto State. The strike carried out on Christmas Day as Nigerian military targeted terrorists belonging to the Lakurawa terrorist group, allegedly hibernating in Gidan-Sama and Rumtua communities. An attack claimed to have affected several innocent residents in the communities. Although the defense headquarters has denied targeting innocent civilians, residents of the community have dismissed these claims, calling for justice. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu reports live from Sokoto State.
A 2-hour journey on motorbikes from Wamako in Sokoto State to Gidan-Sama, also called Gidan-Bisa, and neighboring Rumtua in Silame local government area of the state. A journey not for the faint-hearted, through an area known to be infested with daredevil terrorists and bandits, exploiting hard-to-reach communities in the area, and usually a battleground for Nigerian military, attracting the firepower of its air component. The vast land in Sokoto North, a large forest big enough to host many countries, have been the enclave of these terrorists. Our investigation into the Christmas Day bombing of two communities believed to be hosting a new terror group in Nigeria, the Lakurawas, takes us through this dangerous path. They cheated us. We are really cheated in thousands because we don't know anything. In fact, this government, we don't know its use. We don't have any work apart from farming. We are not terrorists. Anyone involved in terrorism is known by the government. They said we keep dangerous weapons. Why can't they come and investigate? We are just on our own doing our farm work. We don't know anything else other than farming. We have never had any problems with anyone in court. Kill our livestock. Are you saying that after allegedly killing your people with bomb, others were shot on land? Wait a minute, how many people were allegedly killed by the bomb? 10 people. So you people were about to pick up the 10 bodies and were shot by land army? 13 persons. 3 are in the hospital, 10 death. Which hospital? 3 are in the hospital, 10 death. It was on Wednesday after morning prayers. We were just relaxing at home and we saw the fighter jets patrolling in the sky, going round. We now came out to start watching the fighter jets. Then all of a sudden the jet released a bomb. We don't know what we did. We have never seen a terrorist here. A Lakurawa man have never been here before. You mean no Lakurawa terrorists have ever come here before? Not at all. We have never seen them before. Though there was a time they came down there, we were told, but only those with farms around that axis can see them. And after narrating their ordeal, they took us to the graves of the 10 deceased, where they demand for justice for their families and loved ones. Neighboring communities who came to commiserate with the victims of the alleged Air Force bombing also support the claim that the two communities are not hosting the Lakurawa terrorist group. We are always with them, farming together, farming rice and millet. They are not troublemakers at all. From the loss of livestock to the loss of properties and, of course, human lives, the people of Rumtua village down there and then Gidan-Sama village right here in Silame local government area of Sokoto State still await justice. In Sokoto State, Silame, Gidan-Sama village. For News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Great report there from Emmanuel Bagudu. Well, meanwhile, the Sokoto state government has commenced the distribution of relief materials to the two affected communities of Gidon Sama and Romtua, targeted by the Nigerian Air Force during a Christmas Day bombing incident aimed at neutralizing members of the Lakurawa terrorist group. While the state governor had promised the affected communities a sum of 20 million naira and 100 bags of grains to ease their suffering, News Central Television spoke to a member of the distribution team on ground in the communities.
Vigilante O2.
Vigilante O2 na wanda gari?
Na Gunduma Gandi.
Na Gunduma Gandi. So kai me aikin ka me za ka je yanzu?
Dama zan je gidan bisa ne inda wannan hadari ya.
Okay, gidan bisa kenan na kusa ga gidan sama kenan.
Da Runtuma.
Da Rumtuwa. Okay, he's going to gidan bisa, of course, the gidan bisa forest and the gidan sama village. So they are all the same name. Yeah. Of course, he's saying that he's going to deliver the properties being delivered by the governor. So kaya guda nawa kenan nan ga mana?
Wannan gero guda 30.
About 30 bags of millet.
Masara guda 30.
Of course, maize 30 bags.
Shinkafa dangote guda 40.
Of course, dangote bag 10 bags of 40 bags of rice ko?
Sai kuma miliyan 20 wadanda aka ba su a su rage radadi.
Amma miliyan 20 ba tare ka an ba ma ciyaman ko?
San ba ciyaman.
The 20 million, but 20 million is not here with him in the bush. He's inside with the governor, is in the chair with the chairman's place.
Local government chairman.
Local government chairman, the Silami local government. Yes,
Abubakar
Getara is the chairman of Silami local government. He's in possession of the 20 million naira given by the governor of Sokoto State, Governor Aliyu, and of course 2 million naira Kumako.
2 million naira
also given to the governor to give to those who are going to share the palliative, so that they will not tamper with. Of course, so they won't tamper with the 20 million.
Well, still on the Sokoto bombing, Vice President Shamsiyya Ahadu has apologized to the families of the victims of the bombing in Silame local government area of Sokoto State. 10 persons were killed in airstrikes on Christmas Day when the military targeted a logistics base of the Lakurawa insurgent group in two communities in the LGA. Shatima said it was one of those rare sad moments when innocent civilians are caught in crossfire in the ongoing efforts to rid the country of all forms of terror. The vice president spoke when he led a delegation from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to pay a condolence visit to the government and people of Jigawa State on the passing of the mother and son of the state governor, Alhaji Umar Namadi.
We are here at the behest of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to commiserate with the government and people of Jigawa State over the sad loss of the matriarch of the Namadi family, Haji Mariam, and Abdul Wahab, the eldest son of the governor. Death is an inevitable destiny that is hanging over everyone's neck. And our heart goes out to the family and to the entire government and people of Jigawa State. May Allah grant the souls of the deceased eternal rest and reward them with his Al-Jannah Firdaus. And may Allah also grant the family the fortitude to bear the irreparable losses.
We're joined now by our correspondent, Emmanuel Bagudu. Emmanuel, thank you so much for taking time out to have taken that tour all the way to where the sad incidents did happen. You spoke, you interacted with a lot of persons there, and thoughts were shared, especially looking at what really took place. Can you break it down for us, what it was like for you leaving your home, your location, and taking that very, very dire or somewhat dangerous trip passing through that area to meet with these locals? How was it?
Yeah, quite adventurous and, of course, full of curiosity and, of course, difficult terrain. But, of course, in the spirit of yellow journalism, of course, we're determined to reach that particular destination. We traveled, we used motorbikes from Wamako, local government, Wamako city center, up to those two communities, Rumtua and Ginasama village. Very, very difficult terrain. We're talking about an area fully, occupied, a vast land, hundreds of hectares, hundreds of square kilometers, hideouts, very dangerous hideouts. We are talking about a particular environment where the military have to use air power, not even land power. But it was, we achieved that. We arrived at community, and we heard their own side of the story. They made it clear to us they are not terrorists. They are innocent citizens with the law-abiding citizens of Sokoto State, located in the community in Gidambisa, Rumtua. They have never had any alliance. They are innocent and they want justice. Field, expedition, but.
All right, we seem to have a little network connectivity issues there, connecting with Emmanuel Bagudu. But of course, your points are being shared. But let's try again. Let's see if we can get.
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
All right, great. Go ahead. You talked about the request for justice. Can you expand on that? Emmanuel, are you there?
Yes. They are claiming. Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
What they're saying is that what we found out there was the fact that the military Air Force jet, released a bomb in the community on Christmas morning. And of course, they said they are not terrorists. And of course, 10 of their community members were killed. 9 were killed, claimed 6 persons are currently in the hospital. Which, we had a very serious matter. A man called Umaru Dogo, who suffered the highest loss. He lost 6 of his family members, 1 wife and 5 children. The soldiers came, according to him, that's the gentleman talking, that the soldiers came and claimed that he's a member of Lakurawa and that he's been investigated. He challenged them to investigate him, search around. They didn't see any arm. They didn't see any dangerous weapon with him. And of course, they went back. So those are the issues. These are the issues that call for justice. Those are issues they are claiming they require justice for. They claim that while they're trying to bury these 10 persons, land soldiers came in to shoot 3 people. There's 3 persons they claim are quarantined in the hospital. So these are the issues they're claiming that they need justice. That is the area they're talking about justice. Yeah.
All right, finally, my final question to you. Has the Nigerian military, we did hear them speak, there were a lot of conversations around what took place and so on and so forth. There was also a statement made that some of the bombs that were ignited, that they were bombs kept by the Lakurawa terrorists, especially in that locality, that while the entire raid was going on, these bombs were reactivated and then they exploded. Did you get a sense of any of that while you were discussing with these people? Okay, quite a sad one there. I think due to connectivity issues, we have lost Emmanuel Bagudu's connection there. But we hope to connect with him again and get more insight into that very, very fierce and dire story. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we have more stories for you. Stay here with us on News Now. Thanks for staying with us here on News Now on News Central Television. Some traders in Masaka, Nasarawa State, located in the Karu local government area of the state, have called for an immediate investigation over the inferno that destroyed a significant portion of the market. The fire, which ravaged major sections of the market, caused extensive damage to properties and goods valued at millions of naira. Our correspondent, Joshua Marai, visited the scene and filed this report.
In the aftermath of the inferno, a somber feeling pervades the atmosphere as some traders rush to salvage what they can from the wreckage. Others can only watch in disbelief as their dreams and hopes have been lost in the fire. Also observed on the scene was the presence of scavengers who were seen moving through the market, taking what had been left behind.
Mun tafi gida na ina sabon karshe misalin karfe 10 na dare sai aka ce kasuwar Masaka ya kama da wuta sai na dauko mashin sai na taho kafin na zo ma shago na guda 2 da sito na guda 1 duk sun kama da wuta.
I came to market this morning
after someone called me that the market was burning. So I was thinking that it's a minor issue. I was thinking that maybe a part of the market, which normally happens as a fire incident. So when I came, I found out that almost all the major areas of the market has burnt. As you can see, all the shops. My shop is located in that area. That's where I keep my goods.
When I got information that my shop was razed down by fire, then I thought it was a mere joke. I thought it was a mirage. Then when I rushed down to this very place, it came to a reality that my shop was gone down.
A few of the traders, still in shock, recount their losses.
I invest my money in my goods. I don't keep cash as a trader because I know that even though I go market, I will always sell. My daily bread comes from my business. So I didn't expect this kind of incident. Just like it's cut off.
It is my life service that I put in there. And I was hoping that after the season, I will make out something that I will start a new life.
While the exact cause of the fire remains unknown, several traders are calling on the government for intervention to help cushion their losses and assist them in rebuilding their lives.
We need the government intervention to assist as a business person, as a businessman, and some other people.
Whatever the government feels like to compensate people with, we'll make do with that. Idan gwamnati za ta taimaka wa 'yan kasuwa ba wanda ba shi da shago za ta nema ta ce a je a taimaka 'yan kasuwa, wannan ba gaskiya bane, baya zuwa hannun 'yan kasuwa.
While the traders here are counting their loss, they are hoping that help will get to them as soon as possible, as this is their only source of livelihood. From the Masaka market in Karo local government of Nasarawa State, I am Idong Joseph.
In what may yet be another plus for the war on terror, the Nigerian Army has announced that it has arrested a woman who supplies arms and ammunition to terrorist Kingpin Bello Turji. Sunday's announcement comes about a week after the Army announced the detention of some of Turji's suspected lieutenants. It had been reported that the terrorists released a video on Christmas Day saying those arrested were innocent, elderly people in his ancestral community, and threatened reprisal attacks on communities in Zamfara and other parts of northwest Nigeria where he operates. On Sunday morning, the Army announced that troops of Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Fansanyama apprehended the 25-year-old suspected female ammunition courier Shamsiyya Ahadu. The announcement came in a statement issued by the coordinator of the Joint Media Coordination Center of the operation, Abubakar Abdullahi, AOC. Well, security expert Darlington Umaru joined us earlier to explain what this latest arrest means for the war on terror.
Small arms and light weapons is the basic challenge we are facing at the theater of the whole of all this. One major thing the military needs to do, aside from making arrests, is to cut supply. If they are able to cut the supply of these firearms, these small arms and light weapons to the enemy's camp, and then the war is 50% won. Without these small arms and light weapons, it will be difficult for any of these terrorists or any other bandits to want to indulge in what they are doing at the moment. And so one of the things the military is currently targeting is on how to cut supply, whether infiltration into the country through our porous borders or within the system where the black marketeers have their ways of sending this equipment to these terrorists with which they commit the havocs they carry.
Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has called on his supporters to remain calm amidst recent political rhetoric from certain quarters, assuring them that the time for active politicking is yet to come. He said when the time is right, the people of the state will know who is who. Governor Fubara was speaking at the 7th anniversary of the kingship installation of Eze Cassidy Ikegbidi, a politician turned traditional ruler of the Akko people in Ahuada East local government area. The governor attributed his survival from the political antics to divine providence and noted that his administration continues to grow stronger despite the expectations of detractors. He urged the people of Akko to embrace peace, emphasizing that development can only thrive in a harmonious environment. Meanwhile, former Governor of Rivers State, Dr. Peter Odili, has commended Governor Siminalayi Fubara for navigating through political challenges in the past 12 months and more since the crisis broke out in October 2023. Dr. Odili noted that Governor Fubara's struggles were not driven by personal interest, but were aimed at safeguarding the collective good of Rivers State, emphasizing that the fight is to ensure that the state cannot be reduced to anyone's personal property. Dr. Odili made these remarks during a special Christmas ballad he hosted by his family in honor of Governor Fubara's family at his residence in Old GRA Port Harcourt. Reflecting on Governor Fubara's leadership, Dr. Odili, who served as Rivers State Governor from 1999 to 2007, expressed optimism that God would bring to completion the positive changes underway in the state.
An evening that Mary and I and our family have decided that our first family, thank you, Lord, our first family deserves to be appreciated in a special way, because the battle that the governor has gone through from the 25th of October 2023 through the course of 12 months, a battle that he was fighting not for himself, not for his family, but in the interest of our dear state. It was an existential fight for the soul of our state. To reaffirm and reassert that the state can never be anybody's personal property. God does not stop halfway. What God begins, he concludes. Full marks, no minuses. And so we thank God for the signs of his presence in our state. You can feel it. Somebody called us a few nights ago to say that the last time an air of happiness smiles on people's faces, cheers in the hearts of civil servants, the last time it happened was before 2007. It is now that that spirit has come back to that state.
Staying with political matters, President of the Nigerian Senate and a former governor of Akwa Ibom State, Godswill Akpabio, have charged the governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebolo, to sustain the infrastructure and socio-economic development that his administration has commenced. Senator Akpabio, who gave the advice when he received Governor Okpebolo in his Uyo country home, described him as a man of action, few words, and encouraged him to sustain his developmental strides. Addressing journalists after the meeting, Senator Akpabio described the victory of Governor Okpebolo in the September 21 gubernatorial election as a divine rescue for Edo people. On his part, Governor Okpebolo said his visit was to share ideas and tap from the wealth of experience of the Senate President.
I want to once again congratulate you on your victory and assure you of our continuous support and prayers for you to lead your people to the El Dorado, and to assure Edo people that their votes were not misplaced. A man of very few words, but full of action. A determined fellow who has the heart of the common man. He has the common man right embedded in his heart. He's not boastful. He's not loquacious. that you will see more action in the man called Pueblo?
I've come for uncommon impartation. If you see the development strive in Akwa Ibom, I've come to learn from him. I'm here just to get advice from him. 2024 is ending, and we are beginning 2025. By the grace of God, my coming here is to get that impartation for 2025. Amen. So I've come, and he has advised me.
Well, away from Akwa Ibom, now let's move to Lagos State, where Lagos State government has approached the Supreme Court in its bid to overturn the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which quashed the conviction of Femi Olaleye, the managing director of Optimal Cancer Care Foundation, on a 2-count charge of defilement of a child in sexual assault by penetration. 3 grounds of appeal were included in the notice that was filed by the Lagos State Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Dr. Babajide Martins, Assistant Director Babajide Boy, and another director in the Ministry of Justice, Adebayo Haruna, together with 3 additional attorneys. The grounds challenged the whole decision of the Court of Appeal, particularly the requirement that the evidence of the alleged survivor of the crimes, names withheld, required corroboration, the failure of the trial courts to conduct trial within trial on the confessional statements of the defendant, and the failure of prosecution to call the DPO to testify in the matter. Away from politics now, the Nigerian Communications Commission has dismissed claims of a telecommunications tariff hike allegedly set to take effect in January 2025. The Commission described the reports as false and unfounded, urging subscribers to disregard the misinformation. A senior NCC official speaking to newsmen on Sunday emphasized that the regulatory body operates under a transparent framework guided by the Nigerian Communications Act. According to the official, this framework requires stakeholder consultations and strict adherence to due process before any tariff adjustments are approved. NCC also appealed to journalists and industry stakeholders to verify information before publication, stressing the importance of accurate reporting to avoid unnecessary public panic. Reiterating its commitment to consumer interests and the stability of the telecommunications industry, the Commission assured Nigerians that updates on tariffs or related matters would always be communicated through official channels. Now to Abia State, where the state government says it has procured a total of 53 new transformers in a bid to reduce epileptic power supply in parts of the state. Various communities have problems of constant power outage due to the conditions of their transformers. News Central's Chinwe Ogele reports.
There have been reports and complaints of vandalism of transformers in different places within Abia State, leading to unstable power supply to the affected communities. Also, some of the transformers are outdated and old, and so need outright replacement for the people to enjoy power supply when it is available.
So some are faulty transformers, some are transformers that needs to be upgraded. So EEDC have intervened in some, also the same with Abia Power for the people in the Abia Ring Fence area. So the ones that are not attended to, part of them, some of them are also part of this program.
This challenge affects households and businesses in several communities, such as Nkatai Beku in Umuahia North Local Government area.
Now, Nkata anyị bi. Anyị na-enwe ayala enwe ọkụ. Transformer anyị na-enye nsogbu every time o blow yela. Ayala enwe ọkụ. Ọkụ a na-adịghị steady. Ọkwa sometimes ka anyị na-enwe ọkụ. So m na-asị na load dị too much.
For this side, we always have problem that we cut off from the transformer. The other side we have light, the other side we not have light.
If this community is one of those that meet the criteria of those that will benefit in the first phase distribution, then their power issues will be partly solved.
Sometimes transformer will have problem and will not have light, maybe 2 days or 3 days or more than 1 week. It will drain my work for working fast. It will drain my work to draw me back to the square one.
More am I affected? I'm under the weather. I am not really so I know I go on bubble because of all kind.
The Commissioner for Power and Public Utilities, Ikechukwu Monday, told journalists recently in Umuahia that the government was committed to fulfilling its promises to the masses.
Step by step, through programs like this, the electricity assets in Abia State will improve.
Communities are hopeful that the government will consider their areas during the distribution. The benefiting communities must be prepared to secure the transformers that will be given to them, ensuring that they are not vandalized at all. In Umuahia for News Central, I am Chinwe Ugele.
Well, still on electricity matters, we have a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mohammed Nderani, joining me to review the performance of the federal government so far in terms of energy generation and distribution. Thanks for staying with us. Activities in the education sector in Nigeria dominated public discourse for most part of 2024, from the sack of the former Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, whose controversial admission policy sparked off debates, to the protest by university senior staff and non-teaching staff. President Bola Tinubu may have increased the budgetary allocation to education. It still did not meet the global benchmark of 26% budget allocation, despite his promise to reform the education sector, particularly the issue of out-of-school children. News Central's Omolola Ololade takes a look at the education sector in 2024.
Cautious optimism trailed President Bola Tinubu's signing of the 28.7 trillion naira 2024 budget into law, just as attention shifted to ministries, departments and agencies expected to provide monthly performance reports to the Nigerian public. Education is one of such ministries, and its major highlight for 2024 was the unveiling of a roadmap to significantly transform the sector until the sack of its minister, Professor Tahir Mamman, by the president, allegedly due to the slow progress of the reform happening in the sector. One of the major challenges inherited by the new minister was the high number of out-of-school children in the country. The northwestern part of Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children with 8.3 million, followed by Northeast with 5 million, North Central with 2.1 million, Southwest with 800,000, Southeast with 600,000, and South-South with 400,000, according to the World Bank. States like Kaduna, Oyo, Bauchi, and Katsina are working on getting out-of-school children back to the classroom. Lagos State is not left out, as the government has also expressed commitment to tackling the challenge.
In the ministry, we continuously rescue kids off the street. Some of them that we see that are able to be rehabilitated, we take them to our homes, rehabilitate them, and some of them, and after that, we either integrate them back with their families or, hand them over to our Ministry of Education to see if they can be educated.
In October, the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities embarked on an indefinite strike to protest the non-payment of their withheld 4-month salaries by the federal government. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, may not have gone on strike this year. Their members remain unhappy about how they are being treated by the government, especially regarding implementation of agreements with the union.
Nigerian lecturers are poorer today than they were 20 years ago. Nigerian lecturers have been receiving the same salary in the last 15 years.
They are owing us for 4 months. They should pay 2 months, even if they can't pay the whole 4 months.
Every year you see a lot of professionals traveling out of Nigeria in search of greener pastures. Top on the list of these professions are the doctors. But what is more surprising is the fact that the number of lecturers traveling out of Nigeria in search of a better life are even more than the doctors, according to academics.
In this university alone, more than 100 young, brilliant scholars have left. Some are on the verge of leaving. In my own department alone, more than 4. And not only are they better paid, they are being retrained.
In 2023, Tinubu's administration launched the student loan scheme to increase the chances of students obtaining quality tertiary education. Over 104 billion naira have been disbursed to almost 615,000 students since inception, with a projection that the beneficiaries may hit 2.1 million soon, according to the Nigerian Education Loan Fund. In spite of the progress made so far, some students remain skeptical about the loan scheme.
Even if I'm in a million naira, imagine paying 120,000 naira every month because of. So I know I won't be able to enjoy my life and this kind of lifestyle I want for myself.
Collect a loan and the student eventually finish from school. What if the student does not find a job on time? Will the student be still entitled to that loan?
Although far from UNESCO's 26% benchmark for budgetary allocation, Nigeria's 15% budget for education this year is seen as a step in the right direction, as it remains the highest the country has budgeted in the past 8 years.
I think that the president needs to do more, not only at the federal level, but at the state level as well. There's a need for us to have an educational policy that focuses on the needs and aspirations of Nigeria. What do we want Nigeria to look like in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, in the next 25 years? That will shape our educational policy, which will determine the resources that is allocated to education.
However, many Nigerians hope that the recent appointment of Dr. Tunji Alausa as the new Minister of Education will help revitalize the education sector in 2025 and beyond, as transforming education is critical to Nigeria's growth and competitiveness in the world. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Very incisive one there. Well, coming up next, Ethiopia road accident death toll rises to 71. We have details of this story in a short moment. Welcome back. The death toll from a road accident in southern Ethiopia has risen to at least 71. In a Facebook post late Sunday, the Sidama Police Commission Traffic Prevention and Control Directorate said that 68 males and 3 females are known to have died in the accident so far, citing Chief Inspector Daniel Sankura. The Police Commission said the incident occurred at around 5:30 p.m. local time when the vehicle plunged off a road and into a river. The post added that 2 others have sustained heavy physical injuries, but did not detail any further information about the number of passengers on board at the time of the incident. The accident occurred in Sidama State, some 300 kilometers south of the capital Addis Ababa, in the eastern zone in Bona Zuria, Warena.